Have you ever found yourself wondering what's really going on in the mind of a friend who, on the outside, seems to have it all together, but on the inside, is in complete darkness? Sometimes, that offbeat joke about how it would be to just end it all might not just be a joke. What if I told you that person could be silently begging for help, but you just haven't noticed the signs? We never want to believe that someone close to us is struggling so much just to keep going, but the brutal reality is that they could be right next to us, and we'd have no idea. Have you ever stopped to think about that? Pay attention, because what I'm about to share could literally save a life. Not just theirs, but maybe even your own. Focus, because by the end of this, you'll know exactly what to do and how to become the person who makes all the difference. And more than that, you'll feel the need to share this because, my friend, what you're about to learn could be exactly what your crew needs to hear right now. When someone asks you what you think about suicide, or makes a light comment about wanting to end it all, don't just shrug it off. The reality is that this person is testing the waters, trying to see if anyone will notice what's really going on. Odds are, they're desperate for someone to care enough to decipher this silent code. What seems like a harmless question is actually a muffled cry for help. That's where you come in, paying attention, not brushing it off, because this could be your chance to be the turning point in someone's life. Imagine your friend, the guy you've known for years, starts giving away his video games, that leather jacket he always loved, or even his favorite watch. That's not sudden generosity, that's a sign. Life for him has lost its meaning. He's trying to say goodbye to what's left. And if he suddenly starts talking about making a will for no reason at all, it's time to pay even closer attention. These moves are never random. It's his mind already preparing for the worst. It doesn't stop there. Sleep, or lack of it, is another red flag you can't ignore. A guy who stays up night after night or suddenly starts sleeping all day is dealing with something much heavier than it seems. He's exhausted, and his mind is so full of chaos that even resting feels like a nightmare. Over time, the energy fades, and what he once enjoyed doing now seems pointless. The guy who loved playing soccer, hitting the gym, or grabbing a beer suddenly doesn't want to do anything. Everything loses its color. This isn't laziness, it's depression, the weight of life crushing him to the point of giving up. Self-harm can also surface, and that's when things get even more serious. Maybe he starts acting recklessly, getting into trouble, or driving like he's got nothing left to lose. These are clear signs he's testing himself, seeing how far he can go before making a final decision. The problem is, when everyone starts thinking he's getting better, calmer, that could be the most dangerous time, because in his mind he's found a way out. If you recognize any of these signs, don't let it slide. Pay attention, because you might be the difference between life and death for someone you care about. If you're reading this and feel like these words are speaking to you, don't hesitate to ask for help. You're not alone, and your life is worth far more than you think. Now it's your turn. Share this message, not for me, but because this could save someone you know. Talking about suicide. When someone mentions suicide, even jokingly or as a casual conversation, there's a chance they're seeking help. Questions like, have you ever thought about ending it all? Or, what would be the best way to get rid of everything? Could be signs that the person is exploring their own thoughts, seeking advice, or often testing if anyone around them notices their pain. These conversations are often a veiled cry for help, and listening carefully, without judgment, could be the first step in extending a hand and offering support. Giving away valuable possessions. When someone starts giving away emotionally or materially valuable items, it could be a sign they're preparing to leave. In their mind, these things won't matter in the future, so they want to pass them on to those they care about as a way to say goodbye. This gesture, which may seem generous, is actually a silent alarm that the person feels they won't be around much longer. Changes in their will. Writing or altering a will without a clear reason may indicate that the person is planning their own exit. Wills are usually made during major life changes, like marriage or the birth of children. But when someone not experiencing these events starts thinking about it, it's important to gently ask why. It might be a chance to open up a dialogue and understand what's going on in their mind. Acquiring weapons. Simply buying a weapon doesn't mean someone is suicidal, but when it happens alongside other signs, like talking about suicide or giving away belongings, the concern grows. If the person doesn't have a history of using weapons for sports or collecting, it's crucial to have a compassionate conversation about why they made that choice, without directly accusing them of anything. Strange sleep patterns. Sleep is a powerful window into someone's mind. People experiencing extreme stress or depression often have trouble sleeping, or conversely, may sleep all the time. These changes in sleep patterns reflect a mind that isn't finding rest, whether from the restlessness caused by painful thoughts or the mental exhaustion that pushes them into greater isolation. A low energy. A lack of energy often accompanies depression and suicidal thoughts. The person may not want to get out of bed, interact with others, or engage in activities they once enjoyed. This extreme fatigue is not just physical, but also emotional, reflecting the difficulty in finding meaning or purpose in continuing with daily life. Substance abuse. When someone starts abusing substances like drugs or alcohol, it can be a sign they're trying to cope with intense emotional pain. Using these substances often becomes a way to escape, to quiet the thoughts and feelings of despair. In some cases, the person may even be trying to find the courage or numb themselves enough to make drastic decisions. Social withdrawal. Depression often leads to isolation. Someone contemplating suicide may withdraw from friends and family, stop attending social events, and avoid any form of interaction. This happens because, for them, being around others becomes painful, or they feel like a burden to those around them. This distancing is one of the clearest signs that something is wrong. Losing interest in activities they love. When the things that once brought joy, hobbies, sports, time with friends, lose all meaning, that's a red flag. The person no longer sees any reason to engage in these activities because nothing seems to bring satisfaction or happiness anymore. This lack of interest is a direct reflection of the deep apathy that comes with depression and suicidal thoughts. Self-harm. Self-harm is an alarming sign that someone is in great emotional pain. Cutting, burning, or other forms of self-injury are often a way to try to relieve internal pain by turning it into physical pain, which seems easier to manage. People who self-harm are often testing their own limits, trying to control their pain, or even practicing for suicide. Risky behaviors. People considering suicide may begin to act recklessly, challenging danger as a way to test their own mortality. Driving at high speeds, getting into fights, or making dangerous decisions are ways to put their lives at risk without directly confronting the desire to die. These behaviors are yet another way to express their internal pain. Emotional outbursts. Emotions may surface in intense and unexpected ways. Small things, which might seem insignificant to others, can trigger exaggerated reactions like crying, anger, or despair. These outbursts are often the result of accumulated pain that has no other outlet and can be a silent scream for help. Depressed body language. The way someone carries themselves physically can be a huge indicator of their emotional state. Slumped shoulders, always looking down, avoiding eye contact. These are subtle, yet powerful, signs that the person is carrying an immense weight on their soul. When these signs appear alongside other concerning behaviors, it's time to pay attention. Sudden happiness and calm. This is perhaps the trickiest sign. When someone who is deeply depressed suddenly seems happy and at peace, it can look like they're finally getting better. However, this calm often indicates that they've made the decision to end their life and feel relieved to have found a solution to their pain. This is when it's crucial to stay close, offering support and encouraging them to seek professional help. These 14 signs are reminders that suicide doesn't happen overnight, and often the person leaves clues about their pain. But remember, what you think affects how you feel guides what you do, and what you do creates your outcomes. These signs are critical alerts that suicide doesn't just come out of nowhere. It's often preceded by subtle signs of suffering. It's crucial to stay alert, offer an empathetic ear, and if needed, seek professional support to save a life. At the core of this issue, the key is realizing that each of us has the power to positively impact someone in distress. Sometimes, it may feel like we don't have the right words or that the problem is beyond our reach. But simply listening and being there is already a significant step. If someone around you is showing these signs, from explicitly mentioning suicide to more discreet behavioral changes, understand that your presence could be the support they desperately need. Many find themselves trapped in a cycle of negative thoughts, unable to see a way out. Remember, our thoughts shape our feelings drive our actions, and our actions determine our outcomes. This applies to you as well as to the person you're trying to help. Helping shift their perspective, whether through thoughtful conversations, attentive listening, or guiding them toward professional help, can change this sequence of feelings and behaviors. Every small gesture counts, and often all it takes is a reminder that the current pain isn't permanent. Hope may be hidden, but it's there, and you can be the link that reconnects them to it. Moreover, an activity like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu can be an excellent outlet to build healthy friendships and strengthen emotional support, creating an environment where vulnerability can be safely shared and new strengths can be discovered.